Hello and welcome to the One People Show. Hello and welcome everybody to a 24-minute late start to the One People Roundtable. Sorry about that. We had some getting in the room issues.
Technical issues.
Technical issues. You get that. But as of today, we should be good for 200 people from now on. We've got 87 right now. And we should be good to go, I think.
We hope. We might hit 100 and have to stop and start all over.
No, I think we'll be fine. Okay, so last week, I just wanted to pick up a little bit where we left off last week in regards to Blair's stuff and the quizzes.
Yes.
And I had a conversation with Lotus and it's the second time I've had this conversation. And it's about head injuries, funnily enough. So the idea that if you've ever had a hit to the head, and it could just be anything from a mild concussion, playing sport, or, a fall, to something more serious. And there was a common thread amongst people who you would say would be awake or who the programming doesn't quite take for, who have had a head injury to some degree. And I spoke to Blair about it. So if you haven't done the big quiz yet, he was going to add some questions to the big quiz on the Mandela effect. One of them being, have you ever had a head injury? There's also, and I asked him to add two more, which is, do you smoke tobacco or do you smoke pot? It is said that pot smoking, marijuana smoking, breaks down programming. So a lot of these people, the 27 Club, for example, helps break down programming or doesn't make it stick. And there's also about the grounding qualities of pure tobacco that may play a part as well. So I wanted to see whether amongst all these people who have noticed the Mandela effect, whether or not they smoke pot, smoke tobacco, or had a head injury. Because of the way the brain, even when you've had a mild concussion, the way the brain heals itself and will create new pathways and shit like that. We've got people going, yeah, I'm high right now.
Yes. Okay, so guys, in the chat room, we've got 89 people. If you have had a head injury, just let's just do the head injury right now. Head injury, a brain injury, and yes, I'm going to count epilepsy in there, okay? And I want concussions, broken skull bones, et cetera, just strokes, anything. I want you just right now, everyone say yes if you have. Just type in yes. Holy shit. So far, we've had one no, and we've had about two no.
One to no, only one that I can see that says no to all. Everybody else is a yes. Oh my God. Second no. Two no's and three no's.
We've had about 6 no's so far. 7, 8 no's.
Okay, but that's an overwhelming majority of yes, right?
That's interesting. I mean, I broke my orbital bone. I've had so many concussions. I lost track of how many concussions I've had. Yes, I was into sports. I've had quite a few concussions. Oh, wow.
Okay, so I had epilepsy as a kid, and then during a couple of seizures, I whacked my head as well, on top of that, and one major car accident where I shouldn't have survived, and that was all head into the windscreen.
Yeah.
That I can think of.
I've had a couple of motorcycle accidents like that too. So. Well,
I'm not 100% convinced I'm not dead already.
Well, here's the thing. From a medical point of view, all of the things that we've discussed, even a relatively small concussion can affect the neural pathways. Swelling on the brain means that the brain will then reroute information into new areas. So I find this really interesting. Epilepsy definitely has something to do fucks with neural pathways. Strokes, of course. So I find that kind of interesting. Now, the other thing is, of course, we're finding that cannabinoids, endocannabinoids, are also in the brain. So if you're talking with people who smoke pot, that could be also part of the trigger.
There's quite a few in here who've experienced epilepsy to some degree. I was the same as...
shocked at how many people have experienced epilepsy and seizures as kids.
I was the same as Lynn, as a kid. But when you go through puberty, there's something that switches during puberty, and you kind of, some grow out of it and some don't. And I was a grow out of it, and I guess Lynn was too. So there's something to this.
Yes, and it is. Okay, now that's really interesting because, yes, cannabinoids also come through the breast milk, and they're in the breast milk, regardless if the mother smokes or not. Cannabinoids are found in the breast milk. It's really, really, really interesting. No, well...
No, not that it makes us more susceptible to the Mandela stuff, but that maybe it means you're less susceptible to the programming. If there is some kind of, programming fuckery going on, those whose brains aren't
wired properly,
they've, because of an injury where we've rewired some stuff, we've got some synapses going on that, maybe are not firing in other people, that you're less susceptible to programming. It's just a theory at this point, but it's looking like there's something in it, just based on these numbers.
Just looking at the numbers, I mean, someone just posted a total 3 minutes ago, so I'll never be able to scroll back and find it now. They were obviously counting 16 no and 90 yes. Was that it? 16 no, 90 yes. That's really insane. Okay, this is okay, little area that we're going to have to do some investigating in. I think we're going to have to go down another little rabbit hole on this one. I'll dust off all my brain study books and then see what I can. Huh. Interesting. Actually, it's really funny you said you had a concussion in 2010, Tula. I had my nose broken by my 4-month-old son in 2010, and I swear that I got a concussion from it because I was just a wreck afterwards for about 3 days.
Oh, I just remembered another concussion. No, I hit my head. Where was what? Okay, so what year was that? 1998 or 99. I just built some shelves in the kitchen. Nice, big, thick, hardwood shelving, and wasn't quite used to them yet, and knocked myself out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I've had a couple. Okay, there is something in this. Time to...
Interesting. And also, okay, you know what? Let's tomorrow in the Unfuckers group, let's pull together. I'll start a thread talking about, and we'll start a separate poll that'll just deal with this. And I want to get kind of more numbers on the seizures and the epilepsy, because that really I find very, very, very interesting. And who's sharing the screen? Wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lisa Harrison's screen. Yay, okay, we're back. That was a little bizarre.
Okay, yeah, I think we should do that. But for those of you who haven't done the Mandela quizzes, I think Blair's added them to that as well.
Yeah.
Or at least one, the big one, perhaps.
Get where the brain injury called. I can't wait to see what they have to say about that.
If you go to either of Dee's or mine's sites for the archive of last week's show, there's links to all the quizzes.
Yeah.
That you can go on. Direct links on there.
Okay, who said that? Hold on. I got to scroll up. What smartass said that? Penny, ask Mama to the coccyx too. Well, I've broken my tailbone, so both ends.
Okay.
Dawn just may have just broken her tailbone. Yep.
Okay. Now there's something I haven't had a chance to talk.
How many people have broken their freaking tailbone? That's going nuts. Like how many people?
Fell off a bar stool. I haven't, to my knowledge, broken my ass.
Yeah. Oh, I have. It's really painful. I had to do all of grade 10 chemistry standing up because I couldn't sit on one of the chemistry stools.
My daughter did from falling down. At one house we lived in, the girls had an attic bedroom with a ladder.
Oh.
And she was in the middle of the night, needed to go to the toilet, and just sort of wasn't much, and went all the way down. And, yeah, rushed to the hospital, broken tailbone. Okay, this is completely out of left field, I know. But I was having a conversation last night with some people here in Australia on Zoom, and the OPPT stuff ended up coming up in the conversation. Now, March of 2013, I think it was, when the apostolic letter came out.
That was not March. That was in the one that went into effect September 1st was released in May, I think.
May?
I think. Hold on.
Okay, so what happened in the conversation last night was that letter got brought up again. And apparently in that letter it said that it had 3 years, there was a 3-year period for it to come into effect, which takes us up to just the September 1st just gone. Right? So there's something, I'd forgotten all about that letter and about what it stated. So whatever it was prepping for, the people who were affected by it had 3 years to get ready. And it just came into effect recently, September 1st, a couple of weeks ago.
Really? Hold on, I'm pulling it up.
Now, apparently, the Australian Catholic website...
Oh, sorry, July 11th is when it was released.
Oh, okay, the apostolic letter. It was released by the Pope. It's like a Pope's decree.
Papal
back
decree.
In 2013. Hey? Papal decree.
Papal decree.
Back in 2013. Yes. Okay. Now, right. I think everyone knows what I'm talking about now. And there was a 3-year period. This will be fully in effect by 1st of September in 3 years, 2016.
Okay, where did that information come from? Because I've never heard that before.
That's the part of the conversation that came up last night. I didn't remember that bit either.
No.
There was something about this 3-year period. Now, apparently the Australian Catholic website had this letter also up on its website, but if you read it, it was completely different. It was saying something completely different to what the one we read that was officially released back in 2013. And now it's gone altogether. It's only just recently been removed completely from the website. So there is something going on, which I think we should look at and revisit in our spare time, in regards to this papal decree. Something's up.
Well, that's interesting.
I need to go back and see if I can find a copy of the original one that was released back then and see if it's still the same as the one that's currently on the website. And I'm hoping someone has downloaded a copy that was on the Australian website, so that they can all be compared.
Yeah, I've got the PDF here. And I wrote an article when this first came out, so I'm pretty sure I've got an article with the PDF embedded into the article. So now, see, it is. I establish this apostolic letter issued motu proprio to proclamate it by its proclamation, whatever Italian, Latin bullshit, entering into force on September 1st, 2013.
Is there anything in there about a 3-year period?
Not that I see. Now, is there something that came after this, as in another, maybe not a apostolic letter, maybe just some kind of a clarification, like a documentation that outlines everything in full?
I don't know. But I think it's worth revisiting and having a look and seeing what's up.
Well, that's interesting. And talking about, the Vatican and, Baal worship, etc., the Arch de Triomphe was raised in New York City today. The Archway of Baal, I should say. Sorry. Because now they're trying to, call it the Arc de Triomphe to make it all sound all chic and not devil worshipy at all. No. Because apparently, last November when they announced it, that the Archway of Baal was going up, I guess someone, made a boot.
Okay, so there's apparently the most recent motu proprio is from August 17, just gone.
Okay, hold on. I'm looking. Oh my God, too much stuff open. I have 1,000 links open already. Auto.
Oh, hey, Brian. Didn't know you were here. Oh, the Wayback Machine. Yeah, thank you.
August 17th. Issues in motu proprio. Vatican live, blah, blah, blah. Hold on, I'm pulling it up. Now, this is the whole thing. These motu proprio type thing, these aren't, a rarity. They come up all the time. The difference is the one that came out in 2013 was dealing with legal stuff. And since we all know that they control law, it was...
Basically, what that one was saying was that the corporations and the individuals working in the corporations didn't have the protection anymore that they could be... they were to be liable in their own right as an individual and not hide behind corporation. Is putting it in simple terms.
Can't find a copy of it. Why am I not finding this?
What are you looking for?
The one from August 17th. I just wanted, it was something about family, I think, and marriage. I'm not sure. Dicastery? What the hell is instituting the dicastery for promoting integral human development? What the hell is that? Dicastery? I am somewhat literate, but that word kind of just blows me right out too. Now let's see.
Okay, everyone's standing with blinks at the moment. Kind of funny. Okay, that one's in Italian though. I can't read it.
Hold on, I've got it here. Hold on, sorry guys, I got sidetracked looking in the dictionary. Here is, here's it in English. Oh, fuck, sorry, I'm sending it to Jerry by accident. For some reason, it's trying to send all my messages to Jerry instead of everyone.
Because Jerry sent you a private message, so it automatically sets you up so you can send him back a response. So you've
I guess, I don't know. No, because I just changed it back and now it keeps going back. Jerry, stop sending me messages. No, stop sending me messages. Okay, that was funny. So yeah, there's the one there. Instituting the dicastery for promoting integral human development.
So did you find out what dicastery means?
Dicastery, from the Greek bloody blah, law court, judge, juror, is a department of the Roman Curia, the administration of the Holy See, through which the Pope directs the Catholic Church. Okay. I'm sorry, everyone who's probably sitting, I'm sitting here reading, Lisa's reading, we're all like going, what the fuck?
It makes for great television.
Yeah, well, it makes a great television. We all stare at our screens reading. What the?
Okay, Jerry, which one's this from? What you've just posted there. Which one's that from? The 2013 one. Okay. So I'll just read it out. In our time, the common good is increasingly threatened by transnational and organised crime, misuse of the market and the economy, as well as terrorism. It is therefore necessary for the international community to adopt appropriate legal instruments which enable it to prevent and combat crime, promoting international judicial cooperation in criminal matters. The Holy See, acting also on behalf of the State of the Vatican City, and ratify several international conventions in that field, has always stated that these agreements constitute the means for effective contrast of the criminal activities that threaten human dignity and common good and peace. I don't know. I just think there's something afoot.
Well, we know there's something afoot. That ain't like, whistling Dixie. We already got the message. We know something's afoot. It's just what foot is in front of the other at this moment in time. What foot do I use to kick through it? Because fuck. Yeah, the fox watching the house, exactly. Interesting. So here's another interesting thing. So, and I'm going to need, Tom, are you in the room here? I didn't see if you were in. I just made the assumption that Tom was in here.
Not seeing him.
There he is. Yeah, he's there. Okay. Tom dropped a link in. Apparently, there's been 11 bombs found in the U.S. today. Hold on, I'll pull it up. I've got the article here somewhere. Oh, crap, I've got so much shit open right now.
11 bombs found.
Yes, so give me a second. So this is the whole thing. So we have the big meeting. All the world leaders are scheduled to be in New York, right? It's the United Nations blardy, I don't know, where all the fluffy butts get together and smell each other's ass or something. So that's all supposed to be happening in New York. So world leaders are scheduled to be in New York today, but the city and neighboring state of New Jersey are in the middle of a security crackdown after 11 bombs were found.
And just in New Jersey alone?
In New York and New Jersey. Downing Street is refusing to confirm whether Prime Minister Theresa May is to attend the high-level meeting at the United Nations. However, world leaders are expected to descend to the UN in Midtown at an important General Assembly meeting. This is a British report on this. So we have, again, September. Please, what is this about fucking September? We have the Archway of Baal went up today. Oh, that just so happens to be the same day that all the world leaders are supposed to be meeting at the United Nations. Really? Really? I just, yeah.
Things that make you go,
And the Chelsea, like the bomb, it wasn't a bomb, but the bomb that blew up in Chelsea, Manhattan, 1 week after Hillary does her, whatever the hell that was, into the van, and then reappears outside her daughter Chelsea's apartment, which is obviously a body double. And a week later, then there's a bomb in Chelsea, Manhattan, and now we got the Archway of Baal. And I try not to sound like a conspiracy theorist. Really, I do. I try really hard not to sound like one. But what do you do when they throw this shit at you? You're just like, hold on.
I'm just gonna. I'll bring that up and see what it is.
Jerry's put up a picture. Save this photo. Got it. Yeah, whatever. Who cares? Fuck off.
What is it?
I can't zoom in.
Of what?
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
So from Chelsea to Madison Square. I'm assuming he's mapped out something. Hold on. The bomb versus Clinton's apartment. Pyramid ritual stuff. There we go. Okay. It's okay, Jared. I like your points. No, that's exactly it. They're not even trying to hide their fuckery anymore. Okay, so I'm going to throw, Lisa, I don't know how much you've been following the news. This last. Okay, do you know what's been going on in Syria?
No, not really.
Because
only that you had freak out and went. It's on Syria.
Yeah, well, it's gotten worse. So basically, you have, in a nutshell, we have the Syrian rebel forces. So this would be the Syrian army who was basically set up by the Americans for Arab Spring in 2011 to try and take down Assad, to start the revolution against Assad. So the Syrian rebel forces, early last week, told U.S. Special Forces to get the fuck out or we're going to strangle you. And that was putting it nicely. And basically, the Special Forces slunk away with their tails between their legs and went, okay, we'll just go. Then, a few days after that, the U.S. Air Force bombed the Syrian army in the middle of a ceasefire. Killed 64 soldiers, wounded 100 more. I mean, 2 F-18s and 2 A-10 Warthogs. Like, they weren't fucking around. It wasn't like, one guy just, his missile just went loose and all of a sudden, oops, sorry. And the U.S., they couldn't get out of it. The Russians are freaking the fuck out. They called an immediate meeting of the UN Security Council over this. Which just so happened to happen the exact same day as Russian elections. I guess they thought they'd be distracted by their elections and wouldn't be paying attention while they blew up the Syrian army. I don't know. The American forces have fully admitted that they did it. It wasn't, oops. I'm sorry, oops. But we pulled our planes back as soon as we found out we were killing those people who are supposed to be, in the middle of a ceasefire. We pulled their planes back. But then yesterday, they bombed 7 policemen in Afghanistan. The U.S. again.
Are they saying oops again?
I haven't followed that one up yet. I haven't had a chance to. But considering the last time they bombed a bunch of fucking Afghani military at a checkpoint, it was another, oh, oops, sorry, we thought you were the bad guys. Because you can't tell the difference between the guys in the full military gear and the guys wearing the black bandanas, apparently. So Nick and I were having a conversation about this.
To what end? To what end? What's going on?
Nick, basically, he said, like, because we were talking about, you start throwing around hypothesis. And I was like, okay, all communications being electronic nowadays. Has someone somehow hacked in and starts feeding fake intel to them on the ground in like Syria, saying, oh, the rebel, the bad guys are there, go bomb them quick right now. Is that what it is? And Nick said, it's almost like the US is not only trying to force their own civilians, their own people into revolution, but it's almost as if they're trying to force the entire world to come after them right now. Wait, this shit has gotten so fucking blatant. Everything that the American government has been doing is now so in your face, so outrageously horrific.
They've been trying for years to incite a civil war.
Yep.
That's not working. People aren't falling for it.
No.
So, bringing something on from the outside, maybe all they've got left. I mean, if we're going to equate this again, like back to biblical prophecy and stuff like that, people keep saying that the United States is Babylon, right?
Yeah.
And it has to fall. It's like watching Israel doing that. Israel, to me, is doing exactly the same thing. They're trying to piss the rest of the world off to the point where the rest of the world come in and take it out to fulfill prophecy.
Exactly. The very first people to break the ceasefire in Syria was fucking Israel. 2 hours into the ceasefire. 2 hours into the ceasefire, Israel's firing mortar rockets into Syria. And that the U.S. has given them $39 billion in military aid going to Israel this year.
Is that where all America's missing money goes? Is just goes straight to Israel or what?
One might ask that question, wouldn't they? But I'm sorry. All I know is...
Yeah, I agree, Murray.
We keep talking about transparency and how everything is becoming transparent. Is this, and this is the question I have, has it always been this bad? And we just didn't see it before because it was well hidden, and Gulf of Tonkin, beginning of the Vietnam War. What happened just this last week? Is that how the Vietnam War started?
But no one saw it back then.
But no one saw it back then because we didn't have internet. We didn't have, boots on the ground, people talking to everyone all over the world. Is that it? Is it the transparency now? The fact that everyone is fucking seeing this shit and it's same old? Like this is just,
Okay. Yeah, but see, this is something that I was talking about and thinking about last night and previously.
Before.
Let's just use the recent Hillary stuff as an example, okay? So Hillary, in terms of what's being put out, the official word, mainstream, yeah, she's got pneumonia. She's a little but she's fine.
She's dehydrated.
She's dehydrated. But she's good. She's good to go. And then you've got the next level of that, which is is it being fed to the alternative media? Because these clips where one that came out in the last 48 hours, say, where everyone's got their phones up and supposedly filmed Hillary, but the screens that are on their phones are not the background, and you don't do all of that. That is so obvious that to me, it's been fed in. The other one where it looks like it's pure green screen, and she glitches out and disappears and stuff like that.
I mean,
I'm sorry, but a student at film school could pull off a better job in 10 minutes than these so-called professionals pulling this stuff together. So are they deliberately feeding these glitches into the alternative media so that we're all distracted over here and outing all this stuff? It's like layer, I said last night, it's like a bloody strudel. It's layer upon layer, upon layer, upon layer. There's what's being fed to the mainstream, what's being fed to the alternative, what the alternative is dissecting from the 2 levels above that, and then there's possibly even 2 or 3 levels below that of what's really going on. And I just think a lot of the stuff that the alternative scene thinks it's outing is actually being deliberately fed to it. So that we're all distracted between what we're officially told is going on, what we think we're discovering is really going on, and the truth is probably neither of those things. So
I agree. And so for example, I ran with the Hillary stuff. I was all over the Hillary stuff. But that's because I really love taking the piss out of Hillary. And any opportunity I have is time well spent as far as I'm concerned. Because I just hate the woman so much. Anything I can kind of point out and be like, look at this fucking idiot, I'm going to do it. But the whole time I was doing it, you knew it was a distraction. And it was like, what's actually going on? Well, then you have all this stuff in Syria going on. You have stuff going all over the world going on. We have.
Why use her in the way they have as a distraction? Because, like, even that footage of her being supposedly either cuffed or assisted into the van the other week, right? If she was in that bad a shape, if there was potentially a presidential candidate who was in that bad a physical shape that she needed to be escorted and assisted in such a way into a van, or she was being arrested, it would never have been done so publicly, I don't think. If this was, genuine and legit, there would have been a hell of a lot quieter about it. And yet we've got this footage, which was shot apparently by her photographer.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. So it's been put out by the camp itself.
And the original announcements were that the media wasn't there. This was just captured on someone's cell phone.
Yeah, well, someone turned out to be her photographer. So what are we being fed? And why are we being fed it?
And why are we being fed it?
Is this so that it's all Trump's all that's left? Why is she being sacrificed?
There's a bunch of lawsuits coming up against Trump right now, too. Like, there is stuff going on to lay out Trump for harboring illegal models for his modeling agency and breaking a shitload of laws on immigration. I think there's a rape case up against him, and there's another one that's a financial one. So, is this it? Are they going to take all the candidates away so they can just drop 2 new candidates in, like right at the very last second? Or A, completely get away from, we can't have any elections right now. Things are just... Well,
I saw a headline come past, but I had no internet to look into it. So there was something about everything is already in place for Obama to stay if the elections can't go ahead. Is that true? Did you get a chance to look into that at all? Or did anybody?
I haven't looked into it personally. I've been down other rabbit holes lately. But I've said that. You and I have both said that. I mean, there is stuff put in place. There are state of emergency laws that are in place that you guarantee that if someone was to go looking, you would find there's an executive order that was passed at some point in time that if there's a state of emergency declared that involves this, or this, that, gives executive powers to the president to, stop elections, to whatever. So.
Yeah, it looks that way on the surface, that they are trying to do anything to have an excuse to declare martial law. But I don't know.
Okay, hold on. Stacey, that video that's going around, I just want to scream right now. Someone's recycled this video from 2013. They've relabeled it 2016 about this EMP drill. That drill happened in 2013. I've checked it all out. There's no new drill. This is everything that was in that video was old shit from 2011 up to 2013. There was not a single new piece of information in it. 11 bombs found in New York City the day that all the world leaders are coming. Okay, well, let's talk about it again, Lisa. We discussed it this exact same time last year. Are they planning the big sacrifice? The big sacrifice?
But again, it was a lot of talk and no action last September.
But was it this year? The other thing that we talked about was the whole, the Jubilee, the Jewish Jubilee. Come on, help me, somebody. The Shemitah, the Jubilee Shemitah. Even last year, there was huge arguments about whether it began 2015, ended 2016, or it began 2016 and ended 2017. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm literally just throwing that out.
Oh, I am really, really cold. I'm going to have to go and get a jumper.
Go get your jumper.
I'm sitting in a cold little spot in the house.
September 23rd, 2016 is Rosh Hashanah. I thought it was October 12th this year. Can someone just clarify that? When is Rosh Hashanah? Well, and that's just it. Gina just said dates have been so far fucked, it's hard to even guess. And that's exactly it. And again, it comes into that whole thing what Lisa was saying about distractions being fed into the alternative media. What kind of distractions are we looking at right now? What has been slammed across continuously? So we've got the second son, Nibiru, all of that is being really, really pushed again right now. And, some of the big talkers are really like, I want to say Anthony Patch, and I know that's not the guy who did the other guy who talks about Nibiru and stuff. They're all putting out all this stuff. So then you also have the Shemitah stuff, which is, again, this big, let's talk dates. Every time they start bringing up dates and all the rest of this, let's calculate this all out. It's like, yeah, but you know what? Again, distraction.
Okay, what did I miss?
So Rosh Hashanah 2016 is Monday the 3rd of October until Tuesday the 4th of October. Exactly. I thought it was in October. So, we're just talking about the distraction stuff, and every time there's something like this comes up, so we've got like the Shemitah stuff, or just, like you said, about it being fed into the alternative media, and then they go viral with it. And we watch deliberate pieces getting pushed out. Deliberate pieces getting pushed out into the alternative media that are so fun. So we have the big standoff about the oil pipeline, and all the First Nations are gathering. And someone goes and posts a picture of fucking Woodstock from 1968, and then claims that this is why the media is not talking about, what's going on over here. No, it's not. It's fucking Woodstock. So it makes everyone look like a fool. It's a big distraction. Everyone goes, oh my God, oh my God. You get some fuck-hearted woman who just should never be allowed to pass her genetics on to future generations because she's that fucking idiotic. In her fucking video about Queen Elizabeth is now in the Bible, in the King James Version of the Bible. I'm like, oh, wow. The astounding amount of stupidity that just came out of this woman's mouth I can't believe anyone's that stupid. It has to have been a planted distraction. And we have pieces that just come out, and you look at them and they're just so ridiculous, and you go, are these deliberately being put out there just to keep people like running like cats all over the fucking place and not focusing on anything real?
Okay. We've seen for the last 12 months, particularly you and I, for the last 12 months, have seen what's going on in the alternative media scene. Now, back when I started doing interviews, 2009, right, there was no such term. There was no meme. There was no alternative media. There was individuals who had blog talk radio shows, who had blogs, who did podcasts. You had maybe Project Camelot, the only ones out there at the time that I can remember going out there and actually interviewing people on video. And you had people who were filming their talks and lectures and stuff and putting them online.
Yep.
But it was individuals, it was maybe a couple, you had to go and dig for them. You had to search for them.
Yeah.
Right? You had to do your research to find who was putting what out there. Probably around 2011, I think, I remember it, this term, alternative media,
appeared.
And everybody got, including me, and it was like, everyone got thrown under this umbrella term. And that is totally, as far as I'm concerned, an alphabet plan. Create a meme, create a term, pull all these people into it and under it, infiltrate it, control it, manipulate it, and now we're in the stage of destroy it. Yep. We're created a situation where everyone's feeding on everybody else. It's there have been, some big names, as we know, over the last few months who have either been exposed or exposed themselves or something that's created a feeding frenzy. Yeah. We've got those who are just making a full-time career out of trying to attack and slander others.
I know. Isn't that just, I'm not naming anyone,
No. I do believe that the whole thing was a complete setup. That there are, I don't even know what the percentages would be in the so-called alternative media that are plants. The ones who are being exposed or exposing themselves, obviously, I would say are. Those who are doing nothing but attack others and creating all this drama and dissension, and I'd say they are as well. And meanwhile, all this contradictory information is being fed in there as well in order to get us fighting over it.
And obviously bullshit information. So completely ass backwards.
Yeah. And so I think we're seeing the backlash of that by people who are genuine, taking a step back, pulling out, just going off quietly and doing their own thing. And it's going to be interesting to see I think it's probably going to come full circle. They can't, and they won't, take it all down. Something amazing has come out of this. Even, the conversation I was having last night, the one thing, people can bash the OPPT all they like, but some amazing stuff happened. And the people, the connections globally that came together at that time through the OPPT are still active now.
Yep.
And they've branched off and gone into other things and they've worked on different projects. But there's relationships that are still going on. And it's the same with the Opal tour that we did. Yeah. People that were brought together and relationships that were created and the network that was created, that's still going on and still going strong.
Yep.
And the same thing will happen out of this whole alternative media scene. Networks, people, relationships have all come together, and the ones that are the genuine, I believe, the ones who are strong, will continue on. long after the whole structure of alternative media has imploded, you know.
Walking out of the rubble.
Yeah, and they will. Yeah. And, I mean, some amazing people and amazing networks came together throughout 2013.
Yeah.
And they're still working on projects. They're still doing some amazing things.
Lavon, you're fucking hysterical and I love you. You see what he just wrote?
As a Russian operative man, I totally confirm what you guys say.
Sorry, dude, you're just hanging out with the wrong crowd. Sorry. This is a Fibonacci guy. Yeah. Oh, man. You know, this is...
You're the KGB element of our CIA.
That's right. We're CIA. He's KGB. You know, this is just what it is. Alphabet soup, baby. Alphabet soup. So I want to backtrack. Okay. Fuck all this stupidness. Jeff made a good comment. And it goes right back to the conversation we had, again, this time last year. Are the doors open? And that's what the distraction is. So we talked about it in fucking August and September of 2015. The prison doors could very well be open at the moment. And we all just have to step through and figure out the pathway to step through the doors. And is that the big distraction right now? Keep everyone focused. What's interesting is that because I think I brought that exact same point up 2 shows ago. Since then, I have been contacted by 2 different friends and another person that I know, all about remedy, legal remedy, and people who are making headway, not just making headway, but really making headway, like they are in the courts, they're working through the processes. And it's really interesting because, again, timing is everything, and I don't believe in coincidence. So when we say a year later, all of a sudden you have a whole pile of people who are like, no, we think we're working it out. We think we've got this, we're working on it. So let's just see, where it goes. I don't find that coincidental either.
Yes. There are still, like I said, people who came together in 2013 who haven't stopped. They haven't stopped the work. They're still fighting the good fight, and are much closer than they were then, obviously.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? There's I'm going to interview this guy. Actually, I'll see if I can find the website. Okay. Bear with me. You talk amongst yourselves for a minute because I've got to find something.
Oh, gee, thanks. Just talk randomly. Yeah, no, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on right now, and there's a lot of people in England, in the States, Australia, Canada, who are all looks like, and like I said, I'm being very quiet about it right now because it's kind of like, let's not jinx anything type thing. But it looks like people are finding remedy and they're working through the bullshit and figuring it out. I mean, our buddy Ben, he's done quite a bit of stuff and he is still working continuously on working through all the little pieces. What does finding the remedy to our situation, legal situation, our financial situation, the fact that we are, as they perceive, their chattel, that they hold our birth certificates, et cetera, et cetera. We're talking about people who are working to find remedy, as in this is the way out, how to get out, get past, and outside that system of the straw man, the corporation courts. Who was that?
All right.
Okay.
Working on something.
So that's, when we talk about remedy, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the people who are figuring out the system, sometimes from the inside, and slowly working through the pieces. It's not as simple as just literally going, oh, I have this piece and now I've got my get out of jail free card. There's a lot of little pieces that are being worked out right now. So, yeah, some interesting stuff going on at the moment. And like I said, as soon as any one of these groups actually comes forward with proof, I'll be all over it, and I'll be letting everyone, will definitely be talking a lot more about it.
Okay, Dee, have you ever seen this? World Citizen Solutions.
I'm assuming you're not talking about what's his name's World Citizen.
God, no.
Okay, I didn't think so. Okay, good. Phew.
Oh, hang on. No, mate, no, I've actually ended up at his website. Hang on.
See, I'm just like, dude, what's your PIN number?
Yeah, that's not. Here we go. This one. World Government of World Citizens. Okay. I'm going to play you.
Okay. I have never seen this.
Okay. Hopefully this will play okay.
Hello, my fellow Earthling.
Can you hear it?
Thanks for joining us on the World Government site. I'm Gary Davis, founder and world coordinator of the World Government of World Citizens. In the next couple of minutes, I will explain our overall purpose and how we activate it in the here and now. That little icon in the left-hand corner is the logo of the World Government. The human figure in the center represents both you and me as sovereign human beings, as well as humanity itself, to which we belong. And this is the perennial principle of the geodialectical union of the one and the many. In brief, we recognize the individual human within the framework of humanity, the species itself. Now, the color yellow traditionally represents light, the sun, or wisdom, the conceptual or value side of humanity. The green represents, of course, the natural world to which we physically belong, as do all other species. And the white represents our clear intelligence, which has no frontiers, from looking at the smallest atom to the furthest stars. Now, following the registration of over 750,000 individuals by the International Registry of World Citizens in '49, the World Government of World Citizens was founded on September 4th, 1953, at the City Hall of Ellsworth, Maine. That story and the follow-up is in our founding statement. It's called the Ellsworth Declaration, which you can find in the document section. And there you can read my reasoning and the government's three basic principles, which I call prime world laws. Though citizenship is an old idea, the modern world citizenship movement was a reaction to the catastrophe of World War II and the nuclear threat. The proclamation of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights by the General Assembly of the United Nations on the 10th of December, 1948, became a common standard of achievement for all peoples and all nations, as mentioned in the preamble. Its preamble also states authoritatively that human rights should be protected by the rule of law, while the very first article provides that, quote, all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They're endowed with reason and conscience and should act towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood. Then Article 21(3) states essentially the political affirmation of that article, which says, quote, The will of the people shall be the basis of the authority of government. That's us, the people. And finally, Article 28 maintains that, quote, everyone is entitled to a social and international order in which the rights and freedoms set forth in this declaration can be fully realized. Well, on this website, you can register your own world citizenship, thereby identifying yourself on a global political level. Now, by doing so, you do not relinquish any lower level allegiance, but on the contrary, you reaffirm and protect them just as municipal citizenship is protected by the next higher levels. Now, this global identification, however, confirms that you now belong to the planetary community, a sovereign people, both as a species as well as individually. And in direct confirmation, Article 13.2 provides that everyone has the right to leave any country, note that word, including his own, and to return to his country. Well, since our present century of instant communication and even space travel, the world community itself has become what is known as a global village in which we are all neighbors. Our government issues a world passport in 7 languages based on the right of freedom of travel. And then, as asylum from persecution is also a human right identified by Article 14 of the UDHR, the government issues to its citizens a world political asylum card. You can find that in the applications. And then the biographies of the 18 world coordinators or world commissions is in the commissions section. Click the legal department link to find the statute for the World Court of Human Rights, Humanities Court. Not yet established, but the final step to follow the International Criminal Court in jurisprudence. You can also read my writ of certiorari and petition for rehearing to the U.S. Supreme Court in that section. In the catalog section is the list of my books on the subject of world citizenship, world government, and world law, as well as videos, and even world currency, the world kilowatt dollar. On the programs page, you can actually vote in the first world referendum on important and vital world citizen issues. You may wonder how we can justify our claim to world government and our right to issue such global documents as the world passport, the world citizen card, and so forth. Well, it's very simple. It's our world, yours and mine. We were born on it, and we obviously have the right to be here, all 6+ billion of us. The main basis which justifies the mandate of authority is Article 21 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which says, the will of the people shall be the basis of the authority of government. The will of the people, that's us. Check out the national constitutions. Most of them have that very principle in their preambles, that the power derives from the people. Here, we're simply extending that sovereign right of political choice to the actual level where our major problems are, such as world wars and global warming. You know, Tom Paine, the great human rights advocate in the 18th century, wrote that my country is the world. Well, you too can make the same claim, which is supported by Article 15.2, which provides that you have the right to change your nationality. That right is called freedom of choice. The idea of world citizenship and a governed world is ancient. Socrates called himself a world citizen 2,500 years ago, and Diogenes before that. All throughout history, the wisest people claimed to be world citizens, including Thoreau, Victor Hugo, and Einstein. Now, with instantaneous communication shrinking our world, you and I are already living as world citizens. Global problems such as war and environmental crises loom before us, not in some vague future, but here and now. And only world laws can best deal with these major crises affecting us. And you, by your claim to be a world citizen, and everyone else who makes the same claim, have made real peace across all the false frontiers throughout the world. Isn't that the real definition for world peace? Peace between individuals in a global framework? No other human time period has enjoyed such unlimited possibilities. It is revolutionary. So join in our humanity and in our common destiny on this wonderful home planet on which we live together. We, as world citizens, have become real world peacemakers. I look forward to hearing from you, my fellow world citizen.
Okay, now calm down.
Not impressed.
Don't be quick to judge. No, there's a lot to this, and that's one of the few videos I want to show you. This is, I mean, we all talk about the fact that countries, borders, all of this stuff, we are citizens of this world. We are members of this world. We were born on this planet. We weren't born with a stamp on our ass saying made in wherever. That if we're really going to be a global community, it has to start somewhere. And yet every time a solution is put forward, we're all really, wary of it and skeptical of it because we've been fed this one world bullshit that they want to create. This has been around. This guy started this thing in the late 40s. He died 3 years ago. Oh no, 3 years ago. That was filmed. The guy was 90 when he filmed that. Right? But the movement is still going strong. The passports are used. There is a site on the website where people can upload their passport where it's been stamped as they've gone in and out of countries as evidence. We've had things like New Earth Nation. That got a lot of support. Everyone thought it was brilliant. Same sort of concept, but it looks pretty, and it had all these great graphics. But it hasn't really achieved anything, as far as I can tell. OPPT, that was also about getting rid of borders, getting rid of the corporate governments, getting rid of all that. This is kind of about standing above all of the bullshit that goes underneath, putting yourself in a position above that. I'm interested. There is a guy who's he's been part of it for 20 odd years, and he's taken over the role since this guy died in 2013. He's the one I'm in talks with about having an interview about all of this. There is, I'm going to try and find it. But if we are going to step into this new world where we get rid of borders and we do come in as a global community, we have to start somewhere, and we have to not be so afraid of any suggestion put forward that talks about it. Obviously, none of us want the New World Order version of a global community. And I think the idea that money was called kilowatt is brilliant, because we know money is based on our energy. And it's putting it right out there and saying, here's a representation of your energy. It's called a kilowatt dollar. Call it what it is. So I'm going to try and find the other thing I wanted to show you. So if there's anything you wanted to comment on it, say it now, and I'll just mute myself while I look for this thing.
I was still muted. Stop. Am I a pessimist when it comes to this stuff? Oh, fuck yeah. I've gone to, when it comes to anything like this, I've gone to the flood, where before it was like accepted as real until someone proves otherwise. Now, for the most part, my game face is I'm going to accept it as bullshit until someone proves it otherwise. So take that as my opinion, just because that's just where I sit. I'm very leery. Every time someone gets into this whole, issuing passports and signing anything, my own internal alarm bells go off. But that's because I'm a pessimist when it comes to this shit. Yeah. It is what it is. Oh yeah, I mean we're just reading comments here. Jerry said petrodollars and his death throes, that's a large portion of the turmoil in the Middle East. I mean, yeah, we've got so much turmoil in the Middle East right now that it's just glaring. Where does that leave the petrodollar? That whole financial system has crumbled. And you talk about distractions. In the last 2-3 weeks, we've had major financial news come out. A whole bit about Wells Fargo being caught, their staff making fake accounts and fake Visa cards to the tunes of millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. We have Deutsche Bank is literally bankrupt. Deutsche is done. But then so is Santander. So is all the Italian banks, the French banks. England is falling to pieces. Bank of Scotland is a joke. We're watching the implosion of the entire financial system. So, I mean, is that part of the distraction? Keep us distracted with Hillary collapsing so that they can try and not have people looking at the financial shit at all? I don't know.
Can you see this?
Yep.
Gary Davis was a rising Broadway star. The night he stood in for the ailing Dani Kaye, he brought down the house, hitting 13 curtain calls. Then, the world went mad. Families were ripped apart. His brother was killed in action. Gary enlisted, eager to bomb Hitler's war factories. But then he was ordered to bomb a city full of civilians. Horrified at the carnage, he was enraged at the war system. Sure that there must be a better way to run our world, he set off to right the wrongs and prevent World War III. He gave up Broadway and made the whole world his stage. He dared to interrupt the squabbling of nations, to demand that the UN hold worldwide elections of a global Congress to outlaw war and make peace. 20,000 war-weary Europeans rallied with him to demand that the world recognize the rights of humanity.
D'illusions sur les difficultés que nous attendent. Mais nous devons choisir entre les difficultés et les massacres de la guerre. Moi, j'ai choisi.
The very next day, the UN unanimously passed the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. With that authority, Gary then staged the most audacious performance of all. He declared a government of, by, and for the people of the world. He gave up his United States citizenship to raise his allegiance to the global level. He became the first official world citizen. His new government issued IDs, marriage licenses, and passports. Nations first rejected them and locked Gary up for failing to have national papers. But amazingly, hundreds of thousands began to register as world citizens. Nations around the globe began to stamp the world passports. Thousands of refugees and detainees, incarcerated for years for lack of identity papers, obtained world passports, and for many, freedom. Today, Gary Davis still stands up for a world most people can only dream of. A world in which humanity is united. A future in which we free ourselves from the scourge of war and oppression. A world in which we are one. The Gary Davis Story.
Take back control of your computer, Lisa.
Right. Okay. It's worth investigation as far as I'm concerned. So
okay. I didn't know that history. I have, once he started talking and some of the images came up, I have actually seen some of that before, oh God, back 2011, 2012. But I didn't know that the history went that far back. I had no idea.
Yeah. There is somewhere, like I said, somewhere on the site where you can see stamped passports. I think the most recent one I saw that was from Australia was something like 2002 or 3. So I don't know how many Australians have even got one of these passports, but they've been stamped. People have been allowed in and out of most countries using these passports. So for those who don't have a passport because they don't want to, sign their life away to get one, it may be something to look into. But I am following up. We're just trying to find a time to organise an interview. So yeah, I know we shouldn't.
I want to hear what he has to say. Absolutely. I will endeavor to keep an open mind.
I mean, all we know at this point is what's on that website. So I want to know more.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I'll put links to those videos into the website in the archive.
Yeah, because there was moments where it got kind of unclear through the recording. So yeah, we will definitely embed the videos with the article that goes with this show.
Well, I think if you sign up for a passport, a national passport, as they are.
Oh, you're signing your rights away.
You're signing everything away.
Yeah.
However, if this is in fact a layer above all of that, then that may not be the case. But it's worth looking into, I think. And it's been around. It's not one of these fly-by-night things that, come and go in 12 months. It's been around since the 50s. And still going strong, apparently. So I think it's worth looking at.
Maybe mention to them that they should pick a new logo. Just saying. As soon as I saw the guy in the circle that looks like he's standing in a cage, it's like, oh yeah, no, just don't really like that image.
Well, I mean, he did go through the explanation of the colours, but not necessarily the design.
Yeah.
But if that was designed in the 50s, it wouldn't have been done with
that kind of, yeah, I know, absolutely.
Everything we know now.
Maybe instead of the longitude and latitude, they could put like, I don't know, ley lines.
Okay, so that's done. Anything else you want to go over today?
I actually had a whole pile of things. Hold on. You talk for a second. I'm going to go scroll through the other stuff that I've got pulled up here. Oh, I do have something. This was brought up today. And I mean, at least you know me, I keep track of medical stuff pretty closely, right? I follow that kind of news, new viruses. Oh, there's a new mosquito-borne virus in the Caribbean. They've just found in Haiti, of all places. Never seen it before. Because you know, it's not like Haiti wasn't one of the major testing grounds for the GMO mosquitoes. But now there's a new mosquito-borne disease they've never seen before. It's shown up in Haiti. But no, that wasn't what I was going to talk about.
Patent on it.
Yeah, who's got the patent on that one? We'll just look that up at another point in time. Here, I'm going to show you this. I keep track of this stuff, like I said, and this took me completely by surprise. I have never heard of this before. So you remember back in the BP oil spill, some enterprising scientists have invented a fully synthetic bacteria. And the excuse was they invented this bacteria that would eat up oils. Yes, it would eat up all those oils. And of course, they dumped it into the Gulf to, you know, eat up all the oil in the oil spill. But apparently, yeah, like bacteria does, it's mutated. And now it's attacking all kinds of living organisms. And there is some stuff to this. And this was kind of really interesting to me because they talk about flesh-eating synthetic bacteria gone wild. The name of this bacteria is called Cynthia, all fucking things.
Because it's synthetic.
I guess so. Now, what was interesting, some of the names that come up in this, like various companies that are named as being involved in this. One of them is, hold on, come on. Yes, Synthetic Genomics, Inc., which has also just been recently in the news, again, on another one of their synthetic life form type pieces that they're working on. Okay? Now, here's the thing. They're talking about, you know, they've got this flesh-eating bacteria. And it kind of, well, what have we seen in the Gulf? We're seeing massive die-off of fish, massive die-off of animals, birds, all these things, and there's seals, et cetera, et cetera. And the other thing is this stuff moves. Right? Something that may start in the Gulf of Mexico, is that someone barking near you?
It's dogs, yeah, and the neighbors.
Oh, okay. So I was just wondering if it was you or if it was someone else. Water isn't stagnant. The water flows all over the world. So now we are seeing mass die-offs like around England, all these different places. And you got to wonder. But the big one for me was 2011 is when the BP oil spill happened. So this was dumped in pretty soon after that. The one thing I have been dealing with continuously is flesh-eating infections. I have treated so many what I perceive to be staph infections in the last 3-4 years that I've lost count. Now, granted, number one, I've been living near the seas. So in Morocco, on the coast of Morocco, I've dealt with a pile of those flesh-eating infections in staph, like I said, staph infections in Morocco. Then here in Malta, just the 2 weeks after we arrived, a friend came over to visit, and my friend of mine said to me, yeah, show her your finger. And he was kind of like, okay, and he unwrapped his finger, and he had a massive staph infection on his finger. And I took one look at it, and it was like, love, we're treating that right now. We have to do this right now, and I have to lance it, and I won't go into the details because it was pretty fucking gross what I had to do to his finger. It was turning gangrenous at that point. Like, it was on the edge of gangrene. What had he been doing? He'd been swimming. He was camping on a beach. He had been swimming when he had a little hangnail, and all of a sudden he ends up with this massive infection. I'm looking at this stuff now and I'm going, okay, massive staph infections all of a sudden? I assumed that it was bacteria mutates, that, you know, as people get overtreated with staph infections, they overtreat it with antibiotics, it becomes immune, then you end up with MRSA. But this makes a lot of sense now. If this is a synthetic bacteria that's waterborne, Very interesting.
You know, for the first time in my adult life, I'm not living on the beach.
Yep. I am. Again, in the water all the time. No, the one good thing I say is you can treat staph infections, these staph infections, well, you don't ever try and treat them with antibiotics because they don't work and they will actually make the infections worse. Natural treatments, super, super easy. Cabbage. You know me, I treat all staph infections with cabbage, and it bloody well works on everything. Any kind of infection that you have, ingrown toenails, boils, staph, anything at all, you take the thickest part of a cabbage leaf, you know, like the veins where it's almost the stalk, cut a small piece big enough to kind of twice the size of what the area of the infection is, smash it, use the back of a knife and crush it, and put it on the infection and bandage it there, use it as a poultice. You soak the infection in hot water with salt for at least 10 minutes, then poultice it with the cabbage. Wait a couple hours, do the exact same thing again. Hot water with sea salt and cabbage will draw out every infection known to mankind. And I have treated gangrene, true gangrene, with cabbage. It works. So
I'll add two more things to that, which is my favourite cure-all for everything, obviously.
Yeah.
Urine.
Yeah, urine does not cure staph. I'm sorry, hon. I've tried it. I tried it when I was dealing with it. Sorry?
Fresh garlic would be the other one.
The problem is you have to get heritage garlic. 90% of the world's garlic is coming out of China or from
of course.
or seed stock. Everything that comes from Spain is stock from China. Everything that comes from Italy is stock from China. I know because I found one little farmer here on the island, and his cloves are little teeny ones, but I know they're proper old-fashioned garlic. Almost every seed stock, all those garlic cloves that you see now, whether, you know, the whole clove is about yay big, and each one is, you know, the size of your thumb, all from fucking China. And it has very little antibacterial properties anymore. So if you can,
the ones I buy locally from markets are all homegrown.
And that's the trick. You have to get the proper homegrown heritage, like the stuff that Mark grows and that Ben grows. That's the real stuff.
MMS
is not working on the staph infections. I've the ones that I was dealing with in Morocco, and you know me, I use MMS for everything. It was not working. It would take it to a level. It would reduce it. It was not clearing the deep flesh infections because the problem is the pockets are underneath. MMS, even in gaseous form, doesn't penetrate deep enough to pull the infection out. That's why the cabbage works. The cabbage literally pulls all the infection to the surface so it can burn, and you don't get the trapped in pockets.
I've only used cabbage when I've had mastitis. Bras stuffed with cabbage.
Works like wonders for mastitis too.
But when you've done,
I always have cabbage in the house nowadays. There's always a cabbage in my fridge.
Have you made a urine pad and done that? It didn't work.
Yep, it did not work. And
I haven't had staph, but I haven't had it not work on anything yet.
But here's the thing: the difference is, Lise, surface infection versus pocket infection. I think the urine just does not go deep enough in to get to the pockets to pull it up. Sorry, say again?
Were they also looping? Drinking it?
No. But I've done the urine poultices. And I'll tell you, urine poultices for like splinters, fucking the best thing ever. Pulls splinters right out. But yeah, when you're dealing with deep tissue flesh eating and staph, the urine, it just doesn't penetrate deep enough. And that's why the cabbage, because it draws.
We did start late, so we can go over. But having said that, I actually have to get my car to the mechanic, so not too much over.
We got a few more moments, and it is, 1 o'clock in the morning for me. But I've been caffeinated.
Okay, so there's a very good chance that this Cynthia has gone global. Oh,
There's a very good chance it's going global, and I'm going to go do some major research into it this week. I've got my buddy JJ is looking into it, and he's on Florida, on the coast, and he's always involved in this kind of stuff. So I'm going to have him start looking into it as well. This is one to really look into because I had not heard this before. Like I said, my ears and eyes are always watching for any of these kind of new diseases, new bacteria, viruses, etc. And I had never heard of it, and that was 2011.
okay, just taking notes. Cynthia.
I'll put the link in. I'll put the link in for the article I just showed everyone. Yeah, I'm telling you.
What else? Is there anything else you want to? You had your little.
Hold on. I've got so many fucking links open now. It's gotten a little bit out of. Oh, did you hear this? Now, this was kind of funny. WikiLeaks has leaked documents that prove that the DNC, the Democratic Party, have been taking bribes. If you want to become an official ambassador.
Oh, I did see that, yeah.
I mean, anywhere from like $650,000 to $2 million can buy you an ambassadorship. All you got to do is make a nice hefty contribution. Just a nice hefty contribution. I fucking laughed. I'm sorry. I thought that was hysterical. Now, here's the next one. Here's something I got to show this to you. This is Claire Barker. I love you, chick, for pulling this up and making me think on this one. What's the etymological meaning of the word toto, i.e. in the toto effect? So hold on, I'm going to pull up the screen share so you guys can see it. So let me pull up the file. I'll just do it right from Facebook. It'll be easier in the end run.
Well, careful what you show.
Yeah, well, it should be okay. It's just the picture. Where's my screen share? There it goes. Okay, so the word toto is the Latin, which means whole or entire. Latin, in toto, as whole, wholly, completely, utterly, entirely. Toto caello, literally by the whole heaven. Okay, the next one though is effect. And the verb, to produce a result, to bring to a desired end. Effect, the noun, the result, execution, completion, ending. The Latin effectus, accomplishment or performance. And it says, from the French, borrowed from the Dutch. Hold on. In the late 14th century, power or capacity to produce an intended result, efficiency and effectiveness. In astrology, to operation or action of a heavenly body on human affairs and influence. In the early 15th century, as intended result, purpose, object, or intent, meaning impression produced on the beholder.
So who came out with the original Mandela effect name?
I no idea. That was just that woman who I guess that apparently some woman who came up with the Mandela effect after the whole conversation about Nelson Mandela. But then, of course, we had someone, and I wish I knew what show it was. I wish I could remember someone who said the toto effect. It was in the comments on YouTube. Because I can't even take credit for it. It was someone said it, the toto effect. We're not in Kansas anymore. And then, like I said, when you go and you actually look at what toto in effect mean, and then tie that together with the Mandela effect, it's like, oh, really? That wasn't too accidental, was it? I love how this shit comes about. too funny for words. Let's see. I'm just trying to look through this. I think that was it. I think that was all the major news. I got all the multiple Prio stuff still up. Yep, that would be all the major news that I was going to discuss.
Okay. Was there anything that you guys in the chat room wanted to particularly bring up?
Yes, darlings, throw us something. Throw us a bone, Teehee.
Otherwise, we can end on time. What's for dinner?
What's for dinner?
What's for breakfast?
Yeah, what's breakfast for her? We had pasta with a carbonara sauce. It was quite yummy, and salad. Oh, I'm telling you, that storm that we had in Gozo, I have never seen anything like it. And I actually joked to Lisa, I was like, you might not want to watch this. Anyone who has epilepsy maybe might not want to watch it if strobing lights trigger you, because the lightning was like this.
Have you got it? Have you got the video on your computer?
Yeah, I do actually. Hold on, it was wild. Hold on.
And I won't watch.
Oh, it shouldn't be so bad. Oh, wait, pause. Shit. Heck. Yeah, hold on. I gotta go over here and actually put the screen share on. That would help, wouldn't it? Okay, so it's very dark because this was filmed with literally one of my kids' tablets. So, and I've got it on the nighttime setting, but it doesn't really help much. But you'll get the effect of what I'm talking about with the lightning.
So you're not actually seeing any lightning strikes. It's just the whole sky lights up.
Oh, we got into forked lightning too.
How long did this go for?
It's 3-4 minutes.
No, but how long did the actual storm and this lightning go for?
Oh, it went on for, it continued like this for about another half hour after that. And then it petered off, and then it came all back again, all the way through till morning.
Now you said when this started, it was one of those silent lightning storms, like no thunder at all.
No, and that was exactly it. Hold on. I just turned my volume down from the movie. Yeah, it started off with just sheet lightning, and there was no thunder whatsoever. All that you're hearing in the background, that is thunder that's nonstop. The thunder just rolled all night long. It just did not stop. And it wasn't boom, boom, boom. It was a continuous roll of thunder.
Yeah, this term sheet lightning, I hadn't heard of it before.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've known sheet lightning for since I was a kid. And unfortunately, it was not a good enough copy for me to be, I don't have the equipment to be able to isolate specific shots.
Wow. There's someone asked earlier, did you spot any UFOs in amongst all of that?
Yeah, I mean, it went on for about another half hour like that, just continued. And then it slowly was moving out over the sea, off the island, and we went to bed. But when Nick got up at 6 o'clock in the morning, it was still thunder and lightning outside. It was like there was lightning everywhere going off. So, and it didn't calm down till about 7:30 in the morning.
Interesting.
But on the bright side of it, we didn't have to water the gardens yesterday.
All right, guys, I am going to have to go.
Yep.
I have to get to the mechanic. So thank you all. I don't know whether we maxed out at 100 and wouldn't let anybody else in, or whether we just actually maxed out at that many, but we shall see.
I don't know. We never went over 100, so I have no idea. No, someone said, Jeremy just said we did over 100, 102 at one point. But that still doesn't count because Lisa and I as host and co-host may not count in that 100.
No, we do, I think.
Do we? Ah, okay. I take
because
it
when it's 50, I can't get back in.
That's right.
Okay, we'll see you guys next week. There was something I was going to announce and then forgot to do so I'll have to get back to that maybe next time.
Fuck. Maybe we'll just have to record something a little bit separately about that.
Okay.
Oh, and by the way, everyone, party at my house next spring.
And apparently I'm hosting one here in Australia at some point, and we're still discussing dates.
Yeah.
So.
I just told her she's doing it. I shouldn't really give her a choice.
All right, guys. We'll see you soon.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for joining. Bye.